Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me for today's tarot reading. I need to read on Trump's September because he doesn't seem to be pulling it together, and I'm thinking he won't. But let's look at September. Also, the heat is cranked up on him, right? Because now there's been Steve Bannon is being investigated, maybe indicted. Southern District of New York is going to get records regarding this Trump Build a Wall GoFundMe thing. And I don't know that that has a direct bearing on Trump because apparently this money was misused, of course. It wasn't used to go build a wall. But there's yet another situation where it seems like people are able to get all kinds of financial records that are, Trump's or Trump related. So, and I will do another reading on how Steve Bannon fares and all of that stuff. Okay, all right, but Trump's September. Yes, and we do have him losing battles to keep his financial records private all over the place, don't we, in Manhattan as well. So, and his campaign is still not going well. So let's see what we've got. Uh-oh. Well, we have the Death card, but right in the heart of the matter and reversed. Now, reversal does not negate it. So there is definitely a death blow. It's not good. It's not good. There's definitely a death blow he doesn't get his campaign together. He just doesn't get it together. I've seen that. So his numbers will not be looking better. There's going to be something else happening in September that makes it look really not good. People will be saying, I don't think he can get reelected, but it's the reversal. I think that means that don't be mistaken thinking that that means that'll be the end of him, like he'll be out in September. No, but there is a death blow. There is an ending to something. Okay, what's the challenge? Victory. Okay, the Five of Swords. He is trying to win at any cost. This is actually right. The winning at any cost card is what that is. So he becomes more desperate because it's not looking good. And it's pretty much, people are talking about him losing as if it's a foregone conclusion in September. And something he had planned to interfere didn't work out. And I don't know if that's the post office plan to try to hold up the mail or what have you, but there's something that didn't work out that he was counting on. Okay, it's not good for him. We have the Six of Cups underneath it all. That's in his subconscious. So that means he is looking back. He is reminiscing. I wouldn't think that means these are positive reminiscences. I would think that means he is looking back at time lost. Time is slipping through his fingers. He is not able to save this thing. Okay, let's see. In the past, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, so yeah, he's also remembering, and he does this frequently, I think. He's remembering when he was first elected. He's remembering being, that the euphoria of that time. He's still telling himself in August that he can pull this thing off. He's still telling himself, well, I did it before, I'll do it again. But I feel like as we go into September, he's worrying. There we go, Nine of Swords. There it is. He's worrying a lot. That's in his conscious awareness. So we can see him casting about in September just as he has been, even worse. How can I get this? How can I get this? He is desperate. And it's not just his ego that's at stake. He is worried about what happens if he loses. Will he go to jail? Will he? He can feel the loss is coming. Yeah, okay, so we have a more desperate Trump. And we have a Trump who's not sleeping. Okay, in the immediate future, then we have the Three of Coins. He's talking to his attorneys a lot. Wow, you guys. He's brokering a deal. I feel like in the immediate future, he's consulting with his attorneys a lot in September about, well, okay, what happens if I lose? How can I keep the legal troubles at bay? What can I do? Can I? Gosh, it's just like every bankruptcy he's ever had, you know, where he will act like he's in some sort of position of strength in, will you forgive this debt? Will you allow me that? Will you spare me from selling this thing or that thing? Otherwise, I could make things very difficult for you. It's like that. He's not doing anything new here, I guess. He's consulting with his attorneys too on, okay, let's talk about an exit strategy. If I lose, I don't want to lose, but if I do, let's talk about an exit strategy. And he is trying to negotiate the terms of him leaving and trying to wrangle some promises for pardons, perhaps, or some promises that nothing would happen to him criminally if he left, as he should, having lost, you know? Goodness. Wow, that man will stop at nothing. At the root of the matter is the devil. There is also greed and avarice, though. He's just as worried about his fortune. He's just as worried about his money. And he doesn't want to give it up either, because he does see tax fraud, tax evasion, kinds of charges looming on the horizon, and lawsuits. He doesn't want to give that up. Environmental effects, the effect of his environment on him right now then in September is 8 of Cups. He's feeling like he's leaving. That leaving card is feeling like it's hanging over him. So in September, I don't feel like he gives up, but I do feel like he's trying to prepare for that eventuality. What's the outcome? But he is hopeful somehow in September. See, I didn't feel like he would give up. He hasn't given up in September. He's still, there must be another scheme or another plan. He's trying to work on both things at once, negotiating an exit strategy and trying to make darn sure he doesn't ever have to exit. Really, you know, authoritarian, autocratic kinds of interventions. He's trying. He's hopeful by the end of September that maybe he can rig the vote. I think he's trying to rig the election. But we have the Temperance Angel is the clarifier for that. He knows he can't answer that question yet. He knows it will take time to figure it out, okay? And we have the Queen of Wands. So we have that rising Democratic energy. You know what I think that could be, though? I think he's got a plan against Kamala. I think he's really going to try to destroy Kamala, her reputation in September, and he's a little hopeful about that. That's as the month wears on. He feels like he's got a good game plan, but he doesn't know how it's going to fly, but he's feeling this hope. I feel like it's almost like a manic-y kind of hope, like it's not really grounded in reality, but he's not grounded in reality, so why would it be grounded in reality? I don't feel like he can assassinate her character to that extent, but I feel like he gets hopeful because he really is going to turn his focus on Kamala Harris, the vice presidential candidate, because he's going to say, well, that's going to be your president anyway, which he has no way of knowing, but that's what he's going to say. And he's really going to focus on her. Because what is there to say about Biden, you know? He said everything about Biden he can say about Biden. Although there were plans. I think there are plans to try to invent more conspiracies, you know, about Biden. But yeah, he's more concerned about Kamala. It bothers him a lot. It unnerves him that in some ways he's running against her. Because Joe Biden is healthy, Joe Biden is well, there's no reason to think Joe Biden won't be able to complete his term, but he knows that many people voting for Joe are also voting for Kamala in a big way, saying, "Oh, we'd be fine with her being our president." So, and that irks him because he is misogynistic. He is deeply misogynistic and racist. And racist. Oh man. Yeah, I honed in on that this morning. Just how upsetting, because he was tweeting while Barack Obama was giving his speech for the DNC, and it was being publicized. He was tweeting in all caps. He was so angry about this, and I thought of his trouble with Obama, and he is simply, yes. I mean, I know it's no surprise to all of you, but deeply racist. Really bothers him that Barack Obama was president and is still so well thought of. Really bothers him a lot. So I think it's not good for him to get that upset about Kamala, because I think he grows more unhinged. It leads to poor judgment. Not right away in September. This is September's reading. But I think it leads to some pretty poor judgment on his part. Yeah. I don't see him regaining any kind of good foothold, though, before the election. I don't see him ever settling into a good strategy. I see these hopes that come up, and kind of like he gets very hopeful about it, these new schemes, and then they don't pan out the way he'd like. I don't see him regaining lost footing here. So, any case, that's what I see for September. We'll ask about October when we get closer to October. Now, I would not like to be near him. Anything else, Spirit, about Trump's October? The Chariot. Well, things are going to move there. Oh, Pence is getting some trouble too. I didn't realize. Okay, he's being pulled forward. He and Pence both are being pulled forward, whether they want to or not. They'd love to just stay in office and keep a lid on all these investigations. But Pence is going to be brought up. Ethical violations possible. Has he been involved in criminal things? Oh, it's not a good month for Pence too. And then we have this one flying out, which is usually Democrats celebrating. So I think you're going to be hearing some encouraging news in September. And in October, I heard also October. So when we get there, we'll read more on that. But yeah, I don't think he finds his footing. He doesn't find his lost ground. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. I thank you for caring. I thank you for being civically minded. And take care. Have a good month. Bye-bye.